Yo, welcome back to the channel. This is the Third Way Media coming at you with another segment of Anime Stream, talking to you about another black character from the anime JoJo Bizarre Adventure. While some Watch Dogs 2 gameplay is running in the background, you can enjoy that. I'm gonna be avenging the dead set brother Horatio. I know this game is pretty old now, it's from 2016, but I thought it was gonna be pretty trash in comparison to the first game, so I picked it up, started playing, and it's actually a pretty good game. I enjoyed Aiden Pierre from the first game much more than this. Well, I don't know. That's pretty debatable. I'll save my final opinion for the end of the game. I might shoot another gameplay for you guys, but I enjoyed the first setting of Chicago, the winning city, being a darker atmosphere than what San Francisco is on Watch Dogs 2. But back to the anime stream. This character's name is Muhammad Avdol. I couldn't decide between him and Oob since I'm not in much of a mood to talk about Dragon Ball. I'll talk about Oob at a later point. So maybe even next video. But JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was created by none other than talented mangaka Hirohiko Araki, way back in the late 80s, 87 to be exact. That mangaka introduced this anime in Weekly Shonen Jump. This series has OVAs to talk about from the 90s in particular, and like the early 2000s. But today we're going to be talking about the early 2010s adaptation, which was created and animated by David Production and published by Viz Media, which also publishes well-known titles such as Death Note, One Punch Man, Hunter x Hunter, Inuyasha, and Bleach. So let's get into the character himself, Muhammad Avdol. Where do we begin? Well, let's start by saying yet again, there aren't many black characters in anime, yet alone animation. But in this series in particular, it's excusable for an anime of this caliber, which explains, which explores like very unblack escapades, which consist of ancient subdualing mutant bodybuilders, a British teenage nigga vampire who probably has highlights in his hair and also returns 100 years later to destroy humanity, a serial killer David Bowie with reverse foot fetish, and an Italian mob boss with either split personality disorder, DID, or, as the anime tries to explain, possessed, whom also wants to kill his own daughter. So which of these escapades seems as if black people could be involved in either one of those scenarios? It seems as if the third one. And the reason why is the third one, in which an English vampire from the main protagonist family puts on a mask to become a vampire, raises an army of the undead, gets defeated by his adoptive stepbrother, kills him, then presumably dies at the bottom of the ocean just to return 100 years later to Egypt/Kemet to do the exact same thing again, but now it's up to the stepbrother's great-great-grandson in order to stop him. So why do I say that a black person, if any, should be involved in this journey? Well, because Egypt is in Africa, or what is also considered to be the Middle East, the one right next to Sudan, which is home to some of the blackest people on planet Earth, that being the Nubians. So my question is, to Dio, why not hire some people that look like the people of that area so that it wouldn't stand out so much, besides Anya or Inyaba the Hag, maybe Endor, Chaka, Khan, and the Oingo Boingo brothers, who all look pretty much tan or dark skinned in complexion to any other antagonist. I would have included Mariah, but because of the Davis production version of her character, but they colored her with blonde and blue eyes in the manga, well, blonde hair and blue eyes in the manga, so I'm gonna give her a no. But back to the man's Avdol. His name comes from musical reference or a person. This is something Araki does a lot in his later works and becomes entirely more noticeable as the parts go on. His name is in reference to Paula Abdul, who works along the Jackson 5 back in the day. Well, she got noticed by the Jackson 5. But Paula Abdul being the woman who made the 1980s hit Straight Up, which inspired the hook or the chorus to the J. Cole song Workout. You know, work out for me, work out for me. Alright, but this character is very pivotal in the JoJo series, as he both introduced stands and tarot cards to the audience. So without tarot cards, you wouldn't have stand names, which, you know, without the stand names, that's a pretty cool aspect of the series. His stand is named Magician Red, or Magician's Riddle. Stands are a combination of life energy that emerges in the form of the user's psychological process and the user's curiosity, and are a situational want in layman's terms, the fighting spirit, you know. Magician's Red is a humanoid bird that has the ability to conjure supernatural flames that can be bent to the user's will, like Avatar, The Last Airbender. Like, imagine Aang, you know, doing fire bending with Zuko, or I forgot his that old master name. I think it's John. Yeah, I think that's his name. That's what I watched the Avatar series. Pretty good series though. I might talk about Black character from there. But this stand obviously takes the Egyptian god Horus into inspiration, with the head being a bird. I love that a rocket would be so interesting in Egyptian mythology. And also, to make him a shaman slash fortune teller, Avdol is easily one of my top black characters of shonen. And along with the teamwork and bonding he did with one and only Jean-Pierre Pomereux, sealed the deal with my love for the Crusaders. Not only that, but all the enemies from Egypt are now named after the gods of Kemet, being an elite assassination squad for Dio Sama himself, Geb, Khnum, Thoth, Anubis, Bastet, Set, Osiris, Horus, and Atum. These are the 9 glory gods, and all of them have some interesting powers. If you want more information and breakdown of these characters, watch Medi Not the Bad Guy, Caleb AI, and Xport. Channels linked in the description below, you know. So shout outs to them guys, especially, you know, Caleb AI. Shout out to Black History Month to that guy. But without Avdol, no one would even know about the flesh buds or stands. But I'm going to assume Joseph would have still, you know, known about Hermit Purple, and Jotaro would still probably be in a jail cell. But imagine that a timeline exists where Dio was successful in implanting a flesh bud in Avdol's head. Like, Joseph would have to convince Jotaro out of the jail cell without fighting, because let's be serious, he would get his ass handed to him. You know, even I Like Joseph defeated the Ultimate Life Form. Season 2 was part 2, you know, or I just call it part 2 because I don't know. Well, I think that's still considered season 1, but it's part 2. You know, battle tendency, one of my favorite parts as well. But Joseph can't compete with Jotaro in terms of star plats, you know. But Joseph would have to convince Jotaro out of jail cell without fighting, because, you know, you get beat. But they would have to fight Avdol just like Kakyoin and Polnareff to save them, if they even could save them. I mean, how would they even know it's implanted in the brain unless, you know, well, obviously it's on the forehead, but, and it would have to be controlled somehow. The brain is the center of control, so they would guess that, and I guess Jotaro would perform the same surgery that he performed on Kakyoin, and then the same thing on Polnareff. But overall, my thoughts on the character is that he's a great side character, top side character, just not a Jobro. He's not a top Jobro. Like, he's a Jobro, but, you know, he ain't the top Jobro, because he, you know, you got to lay your life down to be a Jobro, like damn near, if not all the way. There's plenty of examples. If, you know, Zeppeli died, that's a top, well, some people believe him to be a top tier Jobro. Or Caesar died, you know, the Caesar, you know. Well, part 3, Kakyoin died. Part 4, you know, Okuyasu, no. Part 5, well, Okuyasu didn't do anything, but some people just like him from the humor factor. Part 5, top tier ultimate Joe Bro. Love everybody pretty much unanimously love him in the JoJo community. Is Bucciarati. But well, I'm forgetting one more now. Yeah, that's Speedwagon. That's a Joe Bro now. In the words of Caleb AI, Beast Speedwagon or something like that. I forgot. That's all long since I watched that video exactly. But I mean, his foundation stand, it carried on. It stood and carried on for Jonathan's family for well over 100 years. If that doesn't show friendship and loyalty to another person, I don't know what does. But hey, Rocky didn't give a character like Avdol or Cockaween hell. Let's even throw in the dog Iggy enough time to repay those debts. That, you know, anything that Jotaro freed Cockaween from being Dio's slave to get him another chance to throw hands like a man instead of being like a bitch or a slave to Dio. I don't know what possibly could, you know, Joseph's family, the Joestars actually did for Avdol, besides warning him of Dio. He could have potentially been a slave as well. I just explained Cockywing. Polnareff would have still been a slave as well. And they also led him to his sister's murder, and he gave Jay Guile a good goddamn ass whooping, good beat down, stab him up for that. And he's also one of the best characters too. Shout out to John, man. But to say the least, you know, R.I.P. Avdol. I love the character from the backstory to the outfit, good design, all that, you know, with the robes, and I don't know whether you can call the hairstyle Bantu knots or whatever. Like, there's an actual video, I'll link the video description, how to do his hairstyle. I guess an Egyptian person could do that if he had long hair, but that'd be crazy if he had long hair. But he do got a ponytail in the back, so I guess it would be Egyptian, because, you know, he from Egypt himself. But just to wrap it up again, JoJo one of my favorite shonen animes of all like time that I watch. But next probably is gonna be the brother Ood, and we're gonna have something to say about him, because even though Rocky nerfed Avdol, Ood was way more disrespected by Toriyama. I mean, come on, man. This is the man who is a reconstruction. Wait, not even a reconstruction. A reincarnation, man. Why did you say reconstruction? Reincarnation of Majin Kid Buu, the first original Kid Buu. You know, Galaxy Buster Kid Buu, who can keep up with Fat Buu. First episode, this man blew up the entire planet. We're gonna talk about him next, man. But Black History Month to y'all, man. And I'm out.